like 3Ds?
Oh yeah,
They're like my favorite energy
I
drink,
like
man.
the blue one's my favorite. The blue and silver one.
The silver one, I don't know, man.
No?
Nah, I don't know.
I
I'm
like
gonna
the
get a
silver
little
one.
closer.
I've never tried the gold one though.
It tastes like, well, I think, I don't know if this one just came out, but I've just seen it at HEB.
Yeah.
And I was just like, hey, this is a new flavor like a couple months ago. Um, yeah, man, it's good.
Yeah.
Good. It's good.
No,
It's
my
good.
go-to is White Monster though,
Really?
all the time.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I try 3Ds and just I'll always end up just going back to White Monster.
Eh, Is it like the taste for you, or is it something else?
I don't know. I think it's the taste, the carbonation. I feel like this one's more like less carbonated than a White Monster.
Yeah, and I think that's why I
It's
like
like
this
fruity
one.
kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why I like this one the most.
Oh really?
Yeah, I don't, because like Red Bull and anything like that, they have, like, I was looking at a Red Bull
I've
the other
never
day,
tried a Red Bull.
but they have like 30 carbs for like an 8 ounce can.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I don't know.
crazy. It's crazy. Do you know how many like carbs the Monster has?
No, I get the 0 calorie one. So
Oh,
it
okay.
typically
Well,
doesn't have any carbs.
that makes sense. Well, this just tastes
Yeah.
like a diet, um,
Drink.
yeah, a diet drink, like a
Yeah.
diet energy drink. So,
Very good.
shit, man. What's up, Chris? How you doing?
What's up? I'm doing good. I'm good.
You chilling?
Yep.
I'm chilling too, man. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the GINN podcast. This is your host, GWeezy11. I got Chris here. What's up, Chris?
What's up?
Again, one more time.
What's up?
Get you out of that stage of just chilling. I mean, get you into that stage of just chilling. But
Yeah.
this one's gonna be a dope episode, man, because I got some questions for him. I wrote some questions up because I'm interested in what you're doing, man. I'm interested in how you're putting together things with the Instagram account. How you're, man. We'll get into everything, but I'm interested in everything. But if you don't know, the biggest thing is you're Steph's brother,
Yeah.
correct? So Stephanie, I just had her up on 2 podcast episodes recently. But man, I don't even know your age. If you don't, how
Yeah,
old are you?
I'm 22.
22.
Mhm. I'll be 23 next month.
Shit. When did you graduate? What year was that?
2016.
Man. I'm old, bro. You ever feel
How
that?
old are you?
25.
25.
Nah, I'm not old at all. But do you ever feel that? Like, because I mean, you
Yeah.
graduated 4 years ago, so you ever feel like, fuck,
No, I feel
I'm
like
kind of getting there?
I feel like I'm still pretty young. And then I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, damn, I turned 23 next month. Like, that's not like you're kind of in the middle, you know? You're not in your 20s. You're kind of,
Yeah.
I mean, you're still in your 20s, but you're not at the bottom.
That's true,
So-
man. How's this year been for you, man? Because I know everybody's situation different with the
Yeah.
whole pandemic and the whole COVID. And how was your transition just to, I mean, go through these things? Because I mean, I had a pretty hard transition. But what was like the biggest thing that kind of either you struggled with,
Yeah.
what was the kind of the biggest thing during this whole time?
So when the pandemic hit, it was in like March, I think.
Yeah, like mid-March.
Yeah, we celebrated my sister's birthday that weekend, and then I was actually living in Houston.
Oh
So,
shit.
Yeah, so I worked for Houston Methodist. I was an athletic training resident there. So that Monday I had to be back at Houston for work. So I mean, as an athletic trainer, we're in the clinic working with the physical therapy patients, and then we're at the high schools in the afternoon. So that's
Yeah.
kind of what our day looks like. But that Monday we literally got to work and we're like everything's shut down. Like we're not full shut down, everything's shut down. So not that we didn't have anything to do, but the hospital was in high demand for people to really step up and help on the front line.
Mhm.
So that's where the athletic trainers came in. So the athletic trainers were the first people to step in the front.
Yeah.
We were handling all screenings, we were handling patient transport, we're handling deliveries and all type of that stuff. So
Yeah, man. Damn, I didn't know that.
It was
that
crazy.
No, that's
Yeah.
that's a crazy situation that you
Mhm.
have to kind of just be put into. Honestly,
no, yeah, it was wild.
and then you just have to adapt. And basically,
Yeah.
I mean, for everybody, everything was just so new. So,
Yeah.
but that's just a little bit more intense. That just goes up on the high. Like that was like, I mean, just hearing that is
Yeah.
is incredible. Honestly, so so I think you mentioned that you're an athletic trainer, right?
Yeah.
How long you been doing that?
I graduated 2019, so
Okay.
It's
Been a year?
It's just been
Where'd you graduate from?
UAW.
Oh,
So my sister and I
wow.
both graduated from it.
That's what's up, man. How'd you like going to school there?
It was cool. I was sort of that kid that just went to school, got my shit done, and left.
And then left.
I did absolutely no socializing.
Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah, I'm same way, man. I mean, it took me. How long did it take you to graduate?
3 years.
Oh shit,
Yeah.
yeah. It took me 4.5, so it's a little bit longer. I just took
Mhm.
one semester off. But yeah, I was the same way, man. I never. You worked right full time during that time, or was it just kind of part time?
It was. I didn't work at all. It was. So as an athletic trainers, you have clinicals, so you have to put in at least 30 to 40 hours a week
Makes sense.
at
Makes sense.
clinicals.
Makes sense. Well, yeah. So I was just working, so I never had really time to socialize. Honestly, like I
Yeah.
mean, I knew people at school, and I had friends in classes and stuff like that. But it was
Uh-huh.
just like school, work, family, friends,
Yeah.
trying to do anything and everything
Yeah.
to fit into your schedule. But man, that's still crazy, man. Your whole situation. So, how long did that last for? Like, what would you
The
say
what?
the whole pandemic? Would you say
Oh.
everything picked back up to kind of y'all had
Um.
like a schedule, like
So
organization
yeah.
was kind of in play?
So residency was. So it's a year. So you start in July, you end in July, and that's when your contract's cut off, unless they hire you back on full time.
Oh, okay.
But I know when to come back home, so I just stick with that. So I want to say I was in the hospital until my last week in Houston.
Shit. Yeah.
We went back to the high schools. I want to say it was in June, like towards the beginning of June, to try to see how things went. And then, I mean, someone caught COVID on the team, so they shut down the whole school again. So that's when they had to send us back to the
Yeah.
hospital. And the way it was working was, um, so in the clinic they only had so they have like 20 therapists there that are working on patients, but the clinic also shut down. So there was only like 5 physical therapists there. So we couldn't just go to the clinic and just be like, hey, like, let me see a patient
Yeah.
because there's only 5 therapists actually working for the clinic. So even the therapists were doing all the stuff that we were doing. So I mean, I was trained. I gave COVID tests. We were trained to prone people.
Yeah.
So the people who are intubated to just flip them over onto their stomach. It's supposed to be a really good treatment. Um, yeah, we just
That's crazy. No,
casually dead
no.
bodies walking next to you
See,
out the door. It was wild.
see, that's the part that like is that's the part I was gonna go for.
Yeah.
That's the next thing I was gonna ask. Like, what type of crazy shit did you see, or what type
Yeah.
of stuff did you experience? Because I mean, that is basically the front line.
Yeah,
Like
no,
literally,
it
you're
really is.
experiencing,
I was
yeah, experiencing these things when. I mean, again, it's not your job title, but I mean,
yeah.
it's just one of those things everybody had to adapt
Mhm.
to. So you just said, so dead bodies, people
Yeah.
passing away from COVID.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's crazy, man. That's too wild. So, how was the like for y'all? Like, was there a type of like precaution as far as like getting tested with COVID? Like, how was that? Did y'all have to get tested every day?
Yeah, so
Every
we
s- how long was that? Or what's the I don't know.
yeah.
What's the time frame?
No, yeah, so we actually didn't have to get tested unless we were symptomatic. So we were allowed so we were screened. We have like a designated employee entrance, and every time we walked into work, we'd have to go through that entrance. They asked us questions, they took our temperature, and if we passed the screening questions and our temperature was fine, they just let us through.
Yeah, yeah, that makes
Um,
sense.
so that was that. And yeah, I don't think. I mean, I've never been tested for COVID or anything, so I honestly don't know what it feels like. But that's what that process was like.
That's crazy. Still.
Yeah.
So every time you went into work, you had to get tested.
No,
No, well, what was-
Screened.
Screened.
Yeah.
Okay. Screened. I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
So it's totally different. Okay. So every time you went into work, you had to get screened.
yeah.
And then, I mean, was there other people like within the clinic kind of being coming out positive or anything like
No,
that?
yeah.
Or-
There's definitely a lot of people, like doctors, mostly nurses. They're all getting sick.
yeah.
At the beginning, it was different. We had like so it kind of like at the very beginning, our PPE or the stuff we had to wear, our personal protective equipment is what they call it.
Yeah.
Was a mask. You had to wear eyeglasses. You had to wear a face shield, and then you had to wear a full gown. So that was like in the middle of March. It's pretty hot, so that's what I was wearing outside and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So it kind of dwindled. It kind of dwindled down from that, and then we started just wearing masks. But no, like even with all that PPE, there's nurses still getting COVID. I mean, they're right there helping the COVID.
I
people's
did
COVID
I
out,
did
so.
another podcast with another buddy of mine, and he does dialysis for I guess a company,
Mhm.
but he was just saying during the I think this was May, maybe June that we recorded the podcast, and how was like the PPE for y'all? Was there like because I mean, social media and just everything like that. There's like you were seeing like shortages
Yeah.
of the PPE. How
Mhm.
was that? Did you see any of that too
Yeah,
as well?
no, we definitely did, and when I say we stopped wearing it, it was because we ran out.
Oh,
It's not
yeah,
that they just said, "Hey, like, we're just
yeah,
not gonna wear it anymore," it's because we ran out. So it started to be so I typically work 8-hour shifts, 8 or 10-hour shifts, I forgot which one it was. But, when you went on break, you're supposed to take off your
yeah,
gown because it's dirty or whatever, and we typically got a new one when we got back from break, but it got to a point where we were having to reuse everything, so my mask, I'd have to reuse it
yeah,
day
yeah.
after
Hundred
day.
percent. There's no way around it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my gown, I'd have to reuse it, so I just had to we just kept recycling stuff, and not that that's the best way, but that was the only way at the time that we could deal with it.
What do you think the whole cause was? Just because every like I mean, was it like the panic? Was it just everybody like I guess people other than I guess either frontline workers
Yeah.
or anything in that field, just like
As far
sit
for the shortage,
yeah, just everybody trying
um,
to get their hands on stuff like that?
yeah, I feel like that's what it was, and then 2, I think when hospitals realized how bad it was, I mean, I was helping, one of the managers for it's called the labor pool that they were in charge of ordering masks for basically the whole
Mhm.
hospital. And when that package came in, I mean, they ordered thousands and thousands and thousands of masks, and if every hospital is doing that, like, you can expect
Yeah.
there to be a shortage, so
And so what was so you said the mask, you had a gown, you had okay, goggles, and
the
then you had
glasses,
another
yeah, face shield,
face shield.
yeah. I hated it.
So
I hated
I
it.
remember seeing on social media where people were having like uh just red marks and indentions in the
Yeah,
actual face,
uh-huh,
like just because you would wear it for 8 to 10 hours,
yeah,
and I mean, obviously you would take it off if you
mhm,
go to lunch, anything like that, but still, you just have to put it back on, um, just work and
yeah.
just
Just
how
tough through it.
yeah, how was
It's
that for
a
you too as well? Like
um,
anything that I don't know. I mean, because you have that on all the time.
yeah,
Like, I'm assuming
it was
it was terrible to kind of wear.
yeah, it sucked. It was hard at the beginning though, but or mostly because I mean, you're going from not ever wearing a
Yeah,
mask and then
yeah,
to having to wear a mask for a 10-hour shift like that. That sucked. I mean, yeah, I can wear a mask now for 10 hours straight and be fine. But at the beginning it was rough. And
yeah.
then as far as the gown goes, those were mainly used in the when I would work the ER. So I'd stand up outside of the ER and I'd screen patients as they came in
Mhm.
who were symptomatic. So I mean, it was hot. Like it was hot. So I'd be sweating by the time I got out of
Mhm.
work. I'd be drenched and just kind of had to deal with it.
Shit.
We eventually got like an air conditioner that was out there,
Outside,
but still
yeah,
it
but
was hot out
still,
there.
I mean, this is South Texas, so I mean,
Yeah,
it's you got 90 degrees during that time, or I mean, anywhere around that temperature. So,
it was plastic too, so it was like wearing a trash bag.
oh, I know the you're freaking what's that shit called? A sauna suit, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah, a sauna suit. So you, well, I was gonna say I knew. Yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say. Um, my dad's girlfriend
mhm,
is. I honestly don't remember what she is, but she was saying the same thing that they just
yeah,
had to wait outside and screen patients and for 3 to 4 hours at a time, take a break, and then do that for the rest of their shift. And
yeah,
it was just exhausting. It was just sweating. It was just not basically abnormal to do it. But I mean, you had to something that you just had to adapt. I think that's the only way to express the way everything was going on for
yeah,
everybody in general. But that's crazy, man.
yeah.
That's crazy. Well, one of the other
Pretty
things
wild.
I've found interesting about you is because I mean, obviously I've known Stephanie for a while, but um, I mean, and then obviously, like I've known you that you're her brother. But one thing
Yeah,
too, when recently at her birthday party, the first thing she said to me was like, I don't remember her exact words, but it was
uh-huh.
just like, "This is my brother," and then she said something about your weight loss
Oh, at
journey.
the Halloween party.
Yeah, yeah, at the Halloween
Yeah,
party,
okay.
yeah, yeah. And I was just like, at that part, I was fully functional. I was okay, you know what I mean? And so that's why I remember it. But
Yeah,
yeah, man. So not supposedly. So you did lose a ton of weight. I
yeah.
don't know what the weight is, so I'm really really intrigued to see how much you actually lost. But yeah, how much weight did you lose from the start? Well, Tell me when it started until now, like your beginning weight to what you're at right now, because I'm interested, man.
So my beginning weight, I started at 250, so 250 pounds.
And what
That was
how old were you? What grade were you in?
I was a sophomore. So how old are we in?
High school?
Yeah.
15?
Yeah.
16?
Yeah, 15.
Okay. So was that about 7 years ago?
Yeah, it's been a while.
So what are you at right now?
Right now I'm at 168.
Oh shit. So you lost 50, what is that? What'd you say, 160?
168.
Oh, okay. Well, let me go back. What was your? Is that like? Have you been lowest?
Yo, so my lowest weight was 125 pounds, and it's a whole other topic. But yeah, the lowest I've ever hit was 125 pounds. So I think that totals out to like 125 pounds lost.
Yeah.
Within that time.
So 125 pounds lost. Yeah. And how long did it take you to do that? Or like when did it? Was it the whole 7 years, or was it like a time frame?
It was. I started 2014, and then I was pretty much my lowest when I graduated, so 26.
Okay, but still, man, what made you want to like? What was the motivation to anything like hit you and just be like, damn, I should start doing this?
Yeah, no, it's kind of weird. Everyone asks like, hey, Chris, like, it's kind of sounds stupid, but like I didn't know I was as big as I was. And looking back now, I'm just like, fuck, like I was huge, like. I have a pair of pants and I keep like a shirt that are my biggest. Yeah. Like those are just cool to keep. I know like I can fit like two of myself in there. Like it's just insane. But I think it all started out whereas we were prepping for a wedding that was supposed to be 2 months from whenever I started losing weight. And it was me and my dad. So he was super heavy too. So it was kind of like a little competition, like, hey, who can lose the most weight?
Yeah, okay.
So that's how it all started, and then it just kind of kicked off from there.
But I mean, at some point in time, because 125?
Yeah.
125 is a ton of weight.
Insane, yeah.
Yeah, it's an insane amount of weight to lose. Even at 160 right now, that's still a ton of weight. I mean, there had to be something that kept you going. Yeah. Like something that was just like, man, I should get up and go work out. I should get up and go running. I should be eating right. Like there's just a ton of things that have to go through your head. So I mean, what are some examples? You know what I mean? Like, so what are some things?
At the beginning, it was tough. Like, I'd never worked out a day in my life, and here I am the next day, like in the gym. You know what I mean? Like, so it was hard to get into the gym the first couple months. But I think the most like motivating factor, I guess, you'd call it, is seeing the weight just fall off. So like as the second month, I had lost maybe like 15 pounds, and I think that was my biggest motivating factor. I was like, damn, like. I can't really do this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then from there, I just kept increasing my cardio and started doing stuff like that.
When
the weight just caught.
I got a question. So when you first started off, was it strictly cardio? Was it like weightlifting and cardio? Was it just weightlifting? What were you kind of doing?
So me, I've never played a sport. I've never been athletic. So I've never been like an athlete, so to speak. So I never knew what like strength training was.
Yeah.
I was very uneducated in the whole fitness world when I started. It was literally strictly cardio. But going back, I do it 100% different than the way I did it for sure.
Okay, so that's a good point. So how different would you do it? What would be?
Yeah. So
like are you talking about just weightlifting first or?
I guess like the whole thing, the whole way I approached it, was I was like, okay, like I'm trying to lose weight so I can't eat like any sweets. So I automatically just cut out all the sweets. I cut out all the sugar drinks and sodas.
You kind of went cold turkey.
I went cold turkey. Yeah.
Okay.
And that I think that's what sucked at the beginning because I mean, going from 0 to 100 is not the way to do it.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a ton of effects and
yeah. And then when I'd go into the gym, I started like maybe like running 2 miles a day, and then I did that, and then it literally just started increasing from there. So yeah, like I literally never touched a weight until probably like 2016 when I was a senior.
So that was what, 2 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was straight cardio.
It was straight cardio. I mean, I was in the gym. I remember one time I ran like 12 miles straight.
Fuck.
And I was just like, and then I just got off and just like walked out.
I don't even think I've ever ran like 4 miles, 5 miles.
Now I hate running. I do it.
Yeah. I just personally feel like you can get, I mean, maybe not as much calories burned, but I mean, just an effect if you doing some like quick pace weightlifting.
Yeah,
you know
like more high intensity.
Quick
stuff for sure.
Something like that. And it's just easier. It's just I mean, no one likes to run. No one likes
Heck
to
no.
put their
Especially on the
body.
treadmill,
Yeah,
where you're just staring at a screen
and
or
it's not
staring at
motivating
nothing.
at
Yeah.
all. I mean, same thing running outside, like in a trail or on a hike or anything like that. I don't. It's less motivating for me, 100%. And
Yeah.
sometimes I can't even do it. I've done it before, but it's not me. And I think that's so. Ah, man, I'm trying to figure out what was the highest weight I've ever. I mean, I'm 6, maybe 6'1" on a good day. So I think
No,
I'm
you're
trying to
pretty
figure
pretty
out.
tall.
Say it again.
So you're pretty
Oh,
tall.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it, man. I'm trying to figure out what was my biggest weight. Maybe it was like 220, 225. And this was like 2015.
Yeah.
Um,
Graduated when?
yeah, 2013.
2013.
It was 2 years after I had just got my Gold's membership. Actually, you remember Caesar, right, from the
Yeah.
Halloween party? So he's the one that actually started getting into the whole fitness thing. Man, it's funny because he used to sell Herbalife, and I used to buy Herbalife for him, get a discount. That's a different topic,
Yeah,
but
that is.
so that's how I started, man. And then, yeah, I just started losing weight. I remember getting down to all the way to about 170, 175. After high school, I had. Let me start back. So in high
Yeah.
school, I think it's my senior year, I was about, I would say 160, 170. I was very, very tall and skinny. After high school, I gained a ton of weight, I should say, because I mean, I went up to, like I said, 220. I might be exaggerating those numbers, but I mean, it's in that range for
Yeah.
sure. I got all the way down to my high school weight, and then I was just like, fuck, what's next? And then that's when I started like just weightlifting, kind of putting more weight on. I'm about 200, 205 right now, but I think my body is in a whole nother like category as
Yeah.
far as like what I looked like right after high school, what I looked like when I was gaining weight, like just everything in
Mhm.
general. So man, it's just wild to see what your body, what you can do if you
Yeah.
actually, I mean, just put the work in. I wouldn't even say like just literally put the work in 100%, whether if it's straight cardio.
Yeah.
That's fucking
Oh,
crazy.
yeah, so I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't recommend it either.
How different would you do it? Like, what would you do different? Would you start off weightlifting and cardio? Would you just
Yeah.
do?
So I think, I mean, it all depends on goals. So if my goal was strictly to lose weight, I definitely
That's
like
true.
hit cardio first and then strength train after. But I think strength training is like an integral piece to the whole like weight loss or
Yeah.
weight gain journey that you need to have. Um, because I mean, you need to build muscle. Like that's the one way that you're
Mhm.
going to be strong, and that's the one way you're going to be able to keep doing all the things that you're doing. So I definitely incorporate strength training for sure.
That's a good point, man. How the other question I have too as well is because a lot of people kind of, yeah, I can go to the gym, yeah, I can lift weights, yeah, I can go heavy, I can do a lot of reps, but
Yeah.
then you're popping off at Whataburger, you're popping
Yeah.
off at just Popeyes, and you're
Yeah.
eating like horrible. How do I say this? Like, how important is nutrition? Like, what would you say the percentage is versus like lifting weights and doing any type of like cardio,
Yeah.
anything like that,
Percentage wise,
or just anything? I mean,
yeah.
just
No,
how important is it?
nutrition is, I don't know how to say this. I feel like it's more important or just as important or not or more important than weight training
Okay, yeah,
for sure. Because I mean, you can't out train a bad diet. Like so, for example, if I wanted to lose weight diet wise, I could literally just manipulate my diet and lose weight, right?
hmm
But
yeah, that's true.
so like that just goes to prove that nutrition has a lot bigger play on body weight and stuff
hmm
than training does.
I
So
know, yeah, I know. So like, well, I mean, me personally too as well. Like I mean, I'm sure you've kind of macros and you've kind
yeah,
of
I do that. Yeah.
count your calories and you
Mhm.
kind of track what you eat and stuff like that. I've done it too, and I've seen, man, I've just been 2, 3 weeks where I didn't literally do anything. I just ate right. I
Yeah.
just was just a nutrition tracking and everything like that, but I was still losing weight.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, and that just goes to tell you just exactly what you just said, man. As long as you keep that diet right, and you know
Yeah.
it's you're doing something.
Mhm.
But a lot of people think that like I said earlier, man, a lot of people think that they can just go weight lift and they can go maybe do cardio every now and then, but they're 5, 6 days out of the whole week
Uh-huh.
is fast food,
Yeah.
or maybe they have 2-3 days at most that it's clean, and then the rest is just. But I personally feel like you just got to be consistent.
Oh yeah, that's I think that's the one thing. Like I'd rather someone be consistent than to be perfect.
Yeah.
That's what I tell everyone who asks me like, hey, how do I do this? I say be consistent before you start being perfect.
And I think also people too need to admit that there's like an issue there.
Yeah.
Like admit that you're eating bad, or admit that just whatever. Just admit it, and then fully understand what are the next steps to fix whatever issue you're having, and then I think at that point it's just kind of a domino effect. Everything will fall in place after that. But man, the diet and nutrition for sure is up there. Man, honestly, I'm at a point right now where I go to HEB or I go to a grocery store, and it's literally like the same thing for the whole week, or the same thing for 2 weeks or whatever.
I mean, that's the way it goes for me too.
Yeah, I can. Sometimes it sucks because sometimes I would want to eat out. Well, I mean, I do eat out, but sometimes I'm just like, fuck, this sucks. But I mean, budgeting comes in involved.
Yeah.
You're already used to eating it anyway, so it's just at some point it's just so easy to get these things, cook them, eat them, and then it's just very seamless. Yeah, simple. And I think that's where a lot of people are just like. That's another thing too. Like I've learned, it's funny though. It's very, very easy. But I've learned where I go hungry to HEB that I just start buying like
whatever you want.
Yeah, whatever I want. Because I mean, you're hungry.
Yeah.
So you're craving things and stuff like that. But I don't know. I guess that's another tip. But that's just how I feel. How was your diet when you I don't know if you mentioned it, but how was your diet when you first started out? So you cut the sugars and like everything out, cold turkey.
And like I said, I just started. Like I mean, shoot, my diet sucked before I started anything. Like I'd go to McDonald's. I'd probably have like
when you still
no before.
Oh,
okay.
I'm
talking about like my diet before.
Yeah, okay.
Like I'd go to McDonald's. I'd probably have like 4 McDoubles, a large fry,
oh shit,
a large Coke, and then just down that, and then like that was totally normal for me. Or go to Mom.
I shouldn't be laughing because I'm pretty sure I've done that before.
Like I'm thinking about it, I'm just like, damn, Chris, like how did you even do that?
Can you eat that now?
I can't.
Yeah,
no.
I wouldn't be able to eat
I can't. Or like, I'd go to Mom Margie's, be like, hey, give me like 4 or 5 bean and cheese and then a large Coke, and that was it. So that was the diet I was used to. And then right after that very next week, it just and everything turned around. Yeah, I was literally just eating egg whites and eating chicken, having salads, and eating turkey sandwiches, and just kind of put to the side like all the chips and stuff like that. So
what I mean, because you're going from you cold turkey, so you have to like look up any like YouTube videos, anything like that to kind of basically just do research. Like what was kind of your method on that?
I don't think I started doing research until I had lost pretty much like 70 pounds. I think a lot of what I did was the way that people who don't do their research do it is literally just cut everything out, right? Just start. People think that like the least I eat, the more weight I'll lose. And
that's another.
So that's kind of the route I took.
Yeah.
And I lost weight, but I mean, I was pretty unhealthy. Like I hit a point where I was pretty unhealthy doing that. But then I started doing my research. I started counting macros. I started weight training, and that's when I actually saw results and actually started taking off like that.
So you just mentioned a good topic that I kind of want to touch on. So when people want to weight loss, or when people want to kind of get into this diet, you got like a piece of chicken, you got an asparagus, and maybe like some potatoes or something.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, like it's not. It doesn't annoy me or anything like that. It's just like your body has to eat. Like that's the biggest thing. Like your body, you have to consume enough food so your body. It sounds. It's
literally.
Say it again.
Functions.
Yeah. So it sounds weird because there's like this misconception of like you have to eat less to lose weight, but man, I've lost weight eating up to 3,200 calories, like, and I'm still losing weight, and that's a ton of food. Like it's literally a ton of food, and people are going on these like 1,500 calorie diets.
It's insane.
I personally think like it's just unhealthy. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen like the nutrition label on back of like these, the food and everything like that is just based off like a 2,000 calorie diet and stuff like that. I mean, if you're, I don't know, maybe that's something else that has to do with it. But I've just always thought, man, anything under that is just wild to me. Like
Yeah.
I think the lowest calories that I've dropped was 2 years ago, and I think I went all the way down to like 2,300, and I
Yeah.
was,
That was it for you?
yeah, it was. I would never do that again. Never, never, never do that again. Just because it was, I wasn't used to it. It was the first time doing it. Um, I that's another thing I want to get into too. Is
Yeah.
I don't know how familiar you are with it, but when people go on these like strict diets, when like bodybuilders and stuff
Mhm.
like that, it's truly unhealthy.
Yeah.
Like these people are maybe even lower than 23. Maybe they're going down to
You
like,
know, so I don't know competitors,
yeah,
but
yeah,
a lot of the gym I was at, it was a bodybuilding gym, and I knew the coach very well, and he's badass. His name's David Short, but he trains bodybuilders and bikini competitors.
okay,
And I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot easier for a guy to lose weight than it is for a girl to lose weight. But no, like some girls, like they do have to dip into that 1,300 calorie range just to be stage ready
yeah,
as a bikini competitor. Um, but no, it's not unheard of, but that's not the first place you want to go. So let's just say, if I was going to start someone on a diet, I wouldn't, if they were eating like 2,300 calories a day, I wouldn't automatically put them at the 1,300. Maybe like 5, 6 months from now, if they're trying to compete, we'd have to get down there.
yeah,
But I'm definitely not going to throw you there right now. Maybe I'll throw you to 2,100. Any deficit is a deficit, and
100%,
and you're going to lose weight with that.
100%.
So you just gotta slowly get to that point, I guess, than to just jump straight there. Because once you just jump straight there, you set your body up and your metabolism up for failure. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. I've experienced it too. Like um that was the first time I ever dieted too, where I got down
Mhm.
to, because I went. I think like my maintenance calories was like somewhere around 28 to 3,000.
Yeah.
I think I put it at 28 to be honest with you, if I remember. And uh, I just automatically discounted, not discounted, but like took away like 400, 500
Yeah.
calories off the bat, like
Mhm.
right into the diet. I messed up. I know I should have. There's just, I mean, you got to gradually. I personally feel like you got to gradually
Yeah.
go down as far as calories, and then have your body adjust, and then see if you're still losing weight, and then kind of go that route. But
Exactly. Yeah.
um, I was going to ask you, why is it harder for girls to lose weight versus guys? Curious. I don't know if you know.
No, yeah, like on the physiology level, I'm not
Yeah,
100% sure. But girls are smaller to begin with, so they do not burn or need as much energy to live than guys do. Um, just like, I don't like girls. I mean, they have a lot of body fat, I guess you'd say, more than they have muscle mass. So, I mean, for
interesting,
guys, it's kind of like the opposite. We have a lot more muscle mass than we do body fat.
interesting.
Well, I
Man.
mean, like for most people, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a lot easier for us. Our metabolism's a lot faster than the female metabolism.
How was
So,
how long have you known the trainer, whatever that you just said?
him specifically has
Yeah.
been a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And does he say anything about these bodybuilders that they are like what they're doing right now is like unhealthy? Because
Yeah.
I feel like it is.
Do you feel like it's
Yeah,
so?
because I mean, you're you see people eating cauliflower rice.
No, yeah,
You see people eating like rice cakes. Just, I mean, I don't think I've eaten like cauliflower rice, but
yeah.
for sure rice cakes. But I'm just like, I don't know, man. I don't think I'll be able to do it.
So no, yeah, it's a different world, that bodybuilding world. But I don't think it's unhealthy to a certain extent. But what a lot of people don't understand is that, like, these guys are, I mean, they're athletes just like any other athlete is. They have to work um super hard to get down to that, or to get down to that weight, or to build that physique.
Mhm.
So I have a ton of respect for them. Like, that's badass that you can build that much muscle and then lose it and then just compete like that. Um, but yeah, it kind of goes both ways. Like, yes, it's unhealthy in a sense, but it has to get to that point to be at that elite level. Do you understand what
Yeah,
I'm
hundred
saying?
percent.
So
No, I shit, something I wouldn't do. So I
yeah,
mean, I'm right there with you, man. Like these, they're putting their bodies to whatever they're going through, and it takes a tremendous amount of energy, of a different mindset you have to have when you
hell
go
yeah,
through that. Of another tap into another level of
hmm
motivation too, as well. Like, cause
yeah. Like, you give up your social life. You don't go out to eat. You don't go out with friends. You don't drink alcohol.
yeah,
Um,
There's a lot of stuff you got to give up.
Yeah, you're in the gym constantly. You're doing a lot of things that suck in a sense, just to get to that point. But no, there's people who do it,
Yeah, yeah, man. I've
and there's people who love it too.
yeah,
So
I mean, I don't know any personally, but I've just seen them like on social media, and
yeah,
some of them get like personal and post like IG stories and stuff like
mhm,
that, where they're going through what they eat on the everyday basis,
yeah,
what they're doing, how they look like, everything like that. So it kind of gets personal, but then again, you don't really know them personally, so it's just different. But what are some goals now? Like, what do you as far as your weight loss? I mean, because you said lowest was
yeah.
125,
Lowe's is one twenty
like
five
160 right now. So what are some? You're just trying to build muscle right now.
right now.
What would you say?
I don't really know. It's kind of weird. So when I came back from Houston, I was kind of bulking when I came back from Houston. So I weighed 189. So from July to now, so I think I want to drop or dip down
Mm,
like 163, 165, and then reverse that or bulk up from there.
interesting, man.
Kind of what I'm.
So I guess that brings me to my next question. Like, well, what do you consider the bulking? Like the reverse of dieting? Like you just
Yeah. Mhm.
eat more, and then just kind of lift more weight?
Yeah. So bulking I mean, there's a lot of different ways
Yeah,
that
yeah,
people think of
yeah.
bulking, and my way is so usually you bulk after a dieting phase, right? So like me in July, I'm over here and we're over here in December. So, I mean, my calories are pretty low.
Mm,
So instead of jumping back to maintenance, so like right now I'm eating like 1,800 calories. So instead of going back to where like when I started, I was eating like 2,600 calories. So instead of jumping to 2,600, I'm just gonna like slowly add calories from here. So maybe when I'm done with the diet, maybe I'll add 100 calories in 1 week, and then the next week monitor my weight. If I'm not gaining weight,
yeah.
then add another 100 and just go from there. And then it gets to a point to where you're at maintenance,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
then you just can keep adding from there because you've worked your way up there instead of just jumping to there. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And I got another question too, because I kind of do it as well. But has there been any time in where you're like you're either not cutting or you're not like bulking, but you're still like tracking calories? Not tracking, but like okay, I'll give you an instance. Like I would say I'm kind of bulking. I'm kind of not. Like I'm
Yeah,
just working out honestly, and I should have goals and stuff like that. But that's a different story.
yeah,
So, but what I do though is like sometimes like I don't know, like I'll weigh out my egg whites or I'll weigh out
yeah.
something, but I'm not even tracking. Like I just
You're just
weigh
weighing it out.
just because I'm used to it. It's just
Yeah,
like I
it's
don't
a
know,
habit.
yeah, just a habit.
Yeah,
Like I feel like that's with everything that maybe that I eat and my whenever I go over to my mom's house or my sister's house, like I'm just like damn, like you got a scale,
mhm,
like just because I'm
yeah.
used to it. Like I don't know if you've ever experienced that either, but I don't know.
No,
I'm just fucking weird, maybe.
no, no. I'm like, if I'm being honest, I started maybe tracking calories and weighing my food in like 2016. And I have not stopped doing it since then.
Yeah, I
Like
haven't either.
at all. Like maybe yeah for like a couple days on
Yeah,
Thanksgiving or a couple days during Christmas, but since 2015, I've weighed everything. I've tracked everything, and yeah,
yeah.
like even though I'm weighing it, I'm still tracking it too. Like, so that's pretty much it's what I know. So it's what I do.
No, I feel you, man. Like the same way. I guess just I've been doing it. When did I start tracking? Let's say 2018. No, 2017. I just knew about it. I started getting into the concept. I was just doing research, just finding out everything in general. In 2018, I think that's when I really kind of stuck to it. But it's just a habit now. Like I just
Yeah,
like just going back to going to the grocery store. Like I just eating the same foods pretty much all the time just because I'm already used to it. Yeah, I can buy like a different meal every so often and make it and I mean purchase it and then make it and but I mean everything is just the same. So
yeah,
it's just a habit I guess from now. But so just finished talking about bulking. What would be the I guess I mean we kind of already talked about that already though, like the myths about fat loss and like bulking and
oh
stuff
yeah,
like that. Because I mean the only I guess the only myth about fat loss is just what we just said earlier is the kind of
you
eating
have to eat
less.
less
Yeah,
to lose weight. Yeah,
yeah, to eat less. But I mean, what would you say that bulking is?
like a myth.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I was
Yeah,
thinking that I was as I was asking the question, but I don't think there's anything that I came across. Maybe that you just got to eat
yeah.
like 400 grams of protein or something.
Oh
How,
yeah,
how,
that's true.
how
Um,
do you feel about mass gainers? Because I mean, I've never tried it, but
yeah,
I mean, I've known people to be like take like 2 scoops of mass
yeah.
gainers, and I'm just like, ah. I don't know.
I know there's people who I feel like there's a time and place for them. So there's people who really just can't gain weight
Oh,
and
okay,
they're
that's
eating
true.
a shit ton of food and they're just still not gaining weight because their metabolism's that fast. So that's when like I'd
That's
recommend
true.
like a mass gainer
Yeah, mass gainer.
for those people. But like for the typical person, like you don't need it. Honestly, just eat more food and then that's where your mass will come from.
What is I mean, because we just finished talking about calories, but what are some what are you at right now as far as calories? Like, what did you say
Like
you were?
1800.
So what is your like your protein intake? You
Right
know,
now it's 170. So I keep
170.
it around a gram per body weight. I mean, I know I'm 168, but I
Yeah,
like to go on the higher end and do 70. But if
yeah.
I could, I could go on the lower end, do like 150, but no less than that.
I was watching a YouTube video. This is like totally maybe it's on topic, but um, there's this kind of I guess backed by science study, and I was watching a YouTube video on it, and he was saying that if you were ever to lose a tremendous amount of weight, like just very unhealthy, tremendous amount of weight, maybe you got sick, maybe you experienced something, just
Yeah.
anything in general, um, and then you go back onto like a bulking stage, trying to get your weight back, anything like that. That protein, that excessive like amount of protein, will kind of give you your muscle back, if that makes sense. So, but he was saying that because this guy was a bodybuilder, and I think, man, if I'm not mistaken, he had COVID and he got it real bad, and he was in the hospital, and he just lost a tremendous amount of weight. But when he got out, and then he was here to start working out, trying to get his muscle back, because again he was a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
That he's just raised. I think his protein intake was like 300 grams of protein, just an excessive amount. Because
Yeah.
I just think that's wild. Um, but he was able to get that back in about 2 or 3 months, back to what he
But he was a
was.
bodybuilder before.
Yeah, he was a bodybuilder
All right.
before.
I mean, I think in that case, it's your body's already like knows what to do, right?
Yeah,
So
that's true.
the muscle is not completely gone, so it's still there. It's just you got to bring it back. Does that make
Yeah,
sense? So
yeah,
it's a
yeah.
lot easier for someone like that to build all that muscle back than it is for someone who didn't have any muscle to begin with. But I don't know. In my personal opinion, like with everyone I work with, is don't go like more protein isn't always good.
Yeah.
Because like the more protein you eat, like that just like you end up peeing it out. Honestly,
Say it again.
you end up peeing it out.
Peeing it out.
Yeah.
How
So
is? I've never heard
so
that.
you can have like protein in your urine because
Oh
you're just
shit,
consuming too much protein.
that is crazy.
More than your body needs. Yeah. So
I've never heard that term. That's pretty interesting
Yeah.
though. So you just so much
It's
protein
excess
is
protein.
is you start peeing it out.
Yeah.
Peeing it out.
So not that it
Interesting,
goes
bro.
to waste, but yeah, it just
Interesting.
goes to prove that you don't have much protein.
Yeah, yeah. What I literally was gonna ask you something, but I forgot. Um, I don't remember. But the oh yeah, I don't. Never mind. If I remember, I'll ask you.
Yeah.
But oh, I'm gonna remember now because this is gonna bother me. It was about protein. It was um yeah, man. I don't know. We'll move on to the next
All
segment.
right. Can't help you out there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, let me ask you that. As far as lifting though, I mean, when you're like bulking up, this is what I was. There we go. Whenever you're bulking up, you're how do you know what weight to do versus when like you're like trying to lose weight or you're
Mhm.
cutting or anything like that? Is there like a kind of
Yeah.
something you go based off of?
So I guess my philosophy is you can lift heavy weight, like lift heavy weight.
Just
Um,
as
just
with perfect form, anything like that?
yeah, if you can do it, like
Or
hell yeah, do it.
I would not say perfect form because
Yeah.
I mean, but
It's hard
just
to do.
with a good amount of form,
Mhm.
as much as you can.
Yeah. So because like let's just say if you're on a diet, it's gonna get to a point where you're just not gonna be strong enough to lift that same weight, and that's when you just have to back off. Um, but a lot of people say, oh, like I'm losing weight, so I'm not gonna lift heavy anymore. But I'm just like, well, like if you can lift heavy, why wouldn't you not lift heavy? You know what I mean? And then when you're in a bulking, so just lift as much as you can, and then it's gonna get to a point where that weight is too easy for you, and that's when you go start adding weight.
So whenever you're cutting, you still lift heavyweight, or do you
Yeah.
do like lightweight, a lot of reps?
No, I do.
Really?
I lift.
That's
weight,
interesting. I've always done the opposite. I mean, but it's worked out, kind of not worked out. I
Mhm.
mean, it's just I guess trial and error. But yeah, I've just always done
Yeah.
like high reps, low weight, kind of
Yeah.
intensity a little bit higher, and then as far as like right now, like for instance, right now what I'm doing is 5 for 5, so just 5 reps of like 5 different, I guess, stations.
Yeah, like movements,
Yeah, movements.
exercises.
But I'm doing like 95% of the weight that I can actually. So I mean, just heavy in
Okay,
general.
yeah, yeah, I get what you're
So
saying.
I'm just doing 5 though, but I'm
Mhm.
taking like a minute to 2 minute rest just because it's I guess so heavy.
Yeah.
This is the first time I'm actually doing it, but I don't know how it's gonna work out.
Mhm.
But we'll see how it
Yeah.
goes from there. So I and I should be actually tracking like my weight and what
I
I'm
don't track
doing.
my weight, and that's a bad thing.
See,
I
okay,
should be tracking my weight, but I don't.
so you see these people with like notebooks and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Is that like a good practice?
I feel like yeah, like I feel like that's a good practice. If I could, I mean, respect to those people who do that because 'cause they're,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
fucking committed to that. Um, but I mean, they're serious about it, and not to say that I'm past my serious
yeah,
phase, but I just go to the gym because it feels good. Like, you know what I mean?
exactly.
That's what I do. If I wanted to get down to the nitty-gritty and really track my numbers, yeah, that's what I'd have to do, but right now,
See,
I
I've
don't have
always
to do
seen
it.
people do that, and yeah, maybe it's just maybe it's just commitment, or
Yeah.
maybe it's just like they're really, really into it.
Uh-huh.
But then again, I always kind of remember like what's my heaviest, what I can
Yeah.
and can
Like, for
do.
your squat, your bench, and that's just, like, your main movements. That's what I remember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what I go based off of. Same thing when I've tried dieting or anything like that. I just always remember like what's the highest weight I can do on something like that, and it's just
Yeah.
always stuck. But I mean, but that would make sense, right? Because let's just say you are bulking, and then you
Mhm.
do track these amount of movement, the amount of weight you're doing in these movements, and the next week, I don't know, you go 5 pounds
Yeah.
heavier, and then you just keep on going from there,
Mhm.
and it
Or
kind of
just
just.
do 5 extra reps.
Oh, that's I didn't even think about
Any
that. Yeah,
type
that's true.
of, that's all volume, so you can increase volume, like, by you can increase the reps, you can increase the amount of sets, you can increase the weight,
Mm,
um, you can increase the amount of it's called, like, your tempo, so let's just say you do 5 squats, right? And you go heavy for 200 pounds,
yeah,
um, 1 week, and then next week, you can either do 6 squats, you can do, um let's just say you're doing let's just say the week before you had done 3 sets of 5. This next week, you could do 4 sets of 5, or you can do 3 sets of 6, so you're still getting that 1
yeah,
rep extra. Or you can do, like, 3 sets of 5, but do them pause, so, like, do the 200 pounds,
yeah,
pause
yeah,
at the bottom for, like, 2 seconds. So, like, that's all increasing you're progressing in some way, so
yeah.
it's not all about just, "Oh, I'm gonna add 5 pounds here," like, that's just not what
See,
it's
I've never
about.
even thought
Mhm.
about that. That just kind of. I mean, but that still would make sense because if
Yeah,
you're doing 4 reps on something a previous week, and then the upcoming week you do 5 6 reps. I mean,
yeah.
obviously your
That's still
yeah progression is there, but that is crazy, man. That is crazy. That's something interesting too that I've just learned right now. But um, man, I guess the next thing is tell me about myo movement, right? That's how you
my
say it.
movement, yeah.
How did you even come up with that name? Because that's a
I think it's a cool name. I thought it was kinda like
I
I've been
mean
wanting to change
myo,
it.
right?
Yeah,
Myo, and then just movement.
yeah.
How did yeah? How did
So
you come up with that?
honestly don't know. It was
Just something that just came naturally,
yeah,
just like
it was last year, um, during residency. I had made the account. It's like you can make an account and just, like, not post anything
yeah,
on it.
yeah,
So I made an account, I wanna say August of last year, and then I had titled it the Mile Movement. So mile is a prefix for it means muscle. So it's like the muscle movement. Like I'm creating a muscle. If that makes
yeah,
sense. That's the
yeah.
kind of direction I kinda wanted to take it to. And then I don't think I started posting until November, December,
How long was
after
that?
that.
So when did you get out of residence?
No, like, it was during residency.
Oh,
Yeah, so it was, like, 4
so
months
how?
after.
Oh, okay, so 4 months. What why'd you take that? You just needed to kind of just to
No, I
gather
don't
your thoughts or something?
I felt like I care about what people think about me, and I think that was the thing that was holding me back was, shoot, like, what if I post this and I mean, I know a lot of physical therapists, and they're smart as fuck. I mean, they're doctors, so they're gonna be reading my shit, and they're gonna be like, that's not right. Like, that's not true." You know what I mean? So that I think that was the one thing that sort of kept me from posting was just knowing who would follow me and
Yeah,
then just the judgment that I'd receive from other people. But then at one point, I was like, "People are gonna judge regardless, so I'm just gonna post whatever that I wanna post. Whoever wants to follow, follows, and
that
who
is
doesn't."
a huge point, man. Because I think I talked about it on a previous podcast. I don't remember. Maybe it was just myself, like talking. But man, yeah. So there was a point in time. I think it was like mid September. I was at a point where I was just like stuff that I was putting out was just like maybe not hitting. I don't remember the
Yeah.
exact reason. Maybe enough views, maybe enough listens, whatever the case may be. And I was just like, fuck. What if people just don't really like it? What if
Mhm.
people are thinking this and this and this about the podcast, like
Yeah.
whatever. But the next month, well, actually about a week later, I was just like, man, fuck it. I'm gonna put out whatever I want,
Mhm.
talk about whatever I like, literally whatever. If they like it, they like it. If just whatever goes. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's what people got to understand when creating something like an Instagram page, a podcast, a YouTube channel, just anything in general. People are gonna judge. People are gonna
Yeah.
think you're
All the
annoying.
time.
People are gonna say it sucks. People are
Yeah.
gonna just whatever. People are gonna have their own thoughts regardless of
Mhm.
whatever you do, and that's just something that I had to learn. And it's good that you learned it now because I mean, obviously, this I was looking at a couple of posts and something I've always Caesar can attest to this. Something I've always want to work on is my deadlifts because my form is terrible.
Yeah.
Form is terrible, and I think either it was you or maybe your sister was doing the deadlifts, and I was just like,
Yeah, I think I recorded her
fuck.
doing it.
I was just like, damn, I need to fucking do my deadlifts. But no, man, it's the Instagram page is very very informational.
Yeah.
That's why I liked it 100%. But what made you kind of want to do the instructional videos and kind of put that information out?
So it's kind of weird because I learned so I knew like fitness was always part of me, right? And then athletic training was also always part of me.
Yeah, yeah,
And then once I got into residency and I was exposed to a whole different side of like how the physical therapy side can play into fitness, and how movement works, like that really intrigued me. So and then I was thinking about, damn, like a lot of people don't know how to do a lot of things in the gym, or a
yeah.
lot of people go to the gym and they do things that they think is right, and it's not. Not that it's wrong, but it's just there's better ways to do things. So that's kind of where my thought process was like, oh shoot, like I'm gonna get the most common things that people do wrong, and then I'm
Mhm.
just gonna teach them how to do it right.
As simple as you just said it, man. I mean, I'm sure you see it on a daily still, and I still do, but just basic movements, maybe like squats, maybe like a
Yeah.
lat pull down, maybe
Mhm.
like maybe just a chest movement,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, fuck, that must hurt. Like maybe I'm just like, man, that probably is not affecting the area
No.
that
Yeah,
you're
you're probably
supposed to
just
be working on,
yeah.
and
No,
yeah,
I'm bad
I'm
at
right there
that.
with you,
I
man.
watch a lot of people. Like when I'm in the gym, like my eyes are just like, "Oh, like I'm not even gonna look at that. Or like when I'm on the stairmaster, I'm like looking at people run. I was like, shouldn't be running like you know what I mean? Like, I'm just not judging, but it's just like there's a lot of ways that people don't know how to improve, and
Yeah.
that's something that I wanna be that teacher for them. Is that if that
So
makes sense?
so there's a right way to run.
Yeah, there's a right way to run. I have a oh no, I don't have a post, but there I did um a story, and there's three people running next to each other. Three people running next to each other, and you can just tell like
Well, okay,
the
yeah, okay,
person in the
okay.
middle just didn't know how to run. The person on the left was kind of a good runner, and the one on the right was like a badass runner. So
I wonder if I
you can
run
see
good.
the different
Maybe
you
I
can
do,
see the
maybe I don't,
different
but that just well, I mean, yeah, because if you're running just kind of not right, I guess
yeah.
you can obviously tell. But I mean that, um, yeah, I guess that just kind of goes back
Mhm.
to it just being either a beginner or either
Yeah.
just starting off or something like that. But I mean, that just goes back to kind of why you started the whole Instagram page just to be instructional. But
Yeah.
what are some things that you learned with I mean, we just finished talking about the whole not caring what other people think,
Uh-huh.
and people are always going to be judgmental.
Yeah.
What are some other things that you learned when posting that actual
Um,
um, post and stuff like that? Because obviously, I mean, there's quite a bit of people that follow you. Um,
yeah.
what are I guess some things that I mean, people even like hit you up and just say, "Hey, I tried this out and this
Yeah.
worked for me," and
Uh-huh. I have some people who I mean, it's kind of since the page is like rehab, sports medicine, and
yeah, yeah,
fitness, like there's people who hit me up for different things kind of. So I have like different lifters who are get hurt and that's why they hit me up, or I have like if I post something, they'll say like, "Oh shoot, like I didn't even know that that was the right way to do it." And I mean, some guys have been lifting for years and they're
yeah.
still like, "Oh shoot, like I didn't even know that was the way you can improve." Um, but I think that's the one main thing that I've never been like kind of open to the fact until now, like of taking like online clients, like online coaching. That's
Mm.
something I kind of literally like last week. I was like,
Oh
I'm gonna
shit!
start this, and I
Yeah,
think that's true. Like I was so afraid of being judged because I'm not a certified personal trainer, right? So
yeah.
and but I do think that the knowledge I have from being an athletic trainer, from having like post professional education, like what I can do is a lot more than what a personal trainer can give. So it's kind of a
No,
different take
I'm
I wanna
no, I'm right there with you, man. Like
yeah.
it's 100% your knowledge as far as like everything that you know is a ton, like literally a million miles away from when you first started your fitness jersey
Yeah,
um, journey, I should
it's
say.
insane.
So yeah, you're not a personal trainer, like certified. You
Mhm.
said certified, right?
Certified,
Certified.
yeah.
But I mean, you lost over 100 fucking pounds. There has to be something.
Yeah, that should
Maybe
give
it was
me
just a cardio. Maybe it was
uh-huh.
just. But even at that, even if it wasn't just a cardio, maybe it's just. You know the nutrition. You're gonna
Mhm.
know the mindset. You're gonna
Yeah.
know the getting up every day. You're gonna
Mhm.
like. There's other things that go
Yeah.
into kind of
And
forming this fitness journey for other people
yeah.
um that beginners just don't
Mhm.
know. So
Yeah, and it's kind of cool because as athletic trainers, um, like a lot of people don't know, but we have to be experts in nutrition. We have to be experts in strength and conditioning and
mhm.
exercise prescription. We have to be experts in just literally how the body moves. So that's one thing that like like we know that on a much higher scale than personal trainers do.
Yeah.
So and then too, like it's cool because a lot of personal trainers don't know how to connect with their clients. Like I'm not hating on personal trainers, but I see some who not that their ego kicks in, but they're just standing there with their hands in their pocket, not being very motivating to their client. But for me, like I've learned that like a personal trainer or a client wants you because they need that motivation or they need that extrinsic factors that are going to
Yeah.
motivate them to work out, and then it just kind of goes to so like two clients. Like there's a lot of psychosocial factors that come into like yeah, you're going to be working out with someone, but they're probably going to be talking to you about their family, right?
Oh shit.
A
I
lot
didn't
of
even think about
personal
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. A lot of personal trainers don't know how to respond to a lot of conversations that clients are going to bring to them, and like I just bring up athletic training. Like we have to know how to handle all that stuff. So we have to learn how to like just random like clients will talk to you about anything.
No,
Honestly,
yeah, and see,
yeah,
that's. I mean, for you, obviously, was I mean, you were at a certain weight, so I mean, I of course there was some social effects that you kind of went through.
yeah,
Maybe they're going with that through that too as well,
mhm,
and that's just something you can relate. That's another thing
yeah,
you can relate to.
yeah, for sure.
Man, that is why I've never even. You're blowing my mind right now, Chris. Literally,
No, yeah,
because that's true though. I mean, just going back to like maybe a personal trainer, they don't. Maybe that energy is not there. Maybe
mhm,
that conversation is not there. Maybe the experience is not there.
yeah,
Whereas something like what you're doing is there,
mhm,
and you just have a better effect on the person, the whole experience
yeah.
for them. So, man, that's kudos to you, bro. That's fucking crazy, man. That's
Appreciate it.
um, I'm just shocked because I mean that's you never think about that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't.
Never even think about that, especially at the gym. I mean, who wants? But I mean, I guess they're maybe that's their only time to kind of
Yeah.
express those feelings too.
Or just I
too.
mean, it's kind of awkward too, like, oh, like, let me just tell you to do 3 sets of 10, like,
Yeah,
and be silent for the next, like, you know what I mean? So that's kind of you have to and, like, you have to learn how to talk to people. A lot of you're gonna get clients who are timid or who don't wanna seek help, but they did seek help from you. And then as personal trainers or as the person helping, you have to know how to, like, I don't know, make them comfortable, and you have to know how to carry on, like, conversations that a
yeah.
lot of people don't know, and so that's one thing that I really learned was to have conversations with to be comfortable having conversations with people with someone who you don't know. So that's one thing that I
No,
think that
just
they
to.
gotta
I mean, I remember the first time I started going to the gym, and I'm sure you do too. But the way you feel is definitely uncomfortable. You don't know
yeah,
anything.
for sure.
You maybe you're by yourself.
Mhm.
You're very uneducated as far as movements, anything in general. So what they're going through is the same thing. That's
Yeah,
another point too, as well. Just to have them be comfortable in what they're doing, going to the gym every day. Maybe shooting a text every so often, just say, "Hey, good job. Hey,
yeah,
I noticed
mhm.
something different." Something little as that, I can definitely
It
see
goes
it.
a
I can,
long way,
yeah, it
for sure.
definitely goes a long way. But shit, man, some goals for that page. I mean, it's just it's just a good move. I
Yeah,
was gonna say movement, but it's just a good way to put out instructional shit because not a lot of people are. It's just something somebody can fall back to if they're having that. They can't do that research, can't find anything on
yeah.
YouTube. That's why, like I said, that's why I like the page. But what are some goals that for the page? You just want to keep
For
doing it
that page,
for as long as you want.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Because I don't know which way to take it. Like, I don't know if I want to be more the sports med side, more the rehab side,
That's
or
true.
more of
Yeah.
the fitness side, or I kind of just want everyone to like the page. Or
Yeah.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So this next semester, I guess next year, it's gonna be most focused on fitness, I think. But then I start my doctorate program in next August. So I think once I start that, it'll transition to a lot more of my journey through like PT school and stuff like that,
That's actually a good
as
point
opposed to
because
fitness.
I did see that whenever I clicked on it the day before yesterday, that you are going to be a future doctor. So
Yeah.
how is that transitioning? Are you still doing that at UIW or
No, so
what explain? Yeah, I'm totally unfamiliar with this.
yeah,
So
so
explain to me that.
I applied to PT school, so to be a physical therapist, a doctor of physical therapy. Um, yeah, so I'll start that. I applied at a lot of different schools, but I think I'm going to go to Texas Women's University in Houston, and then so that's a 3-year program. At the end, you come out with the doctorate degree. You're a doctor of physical therapy. Um, I don't know what way I want to take it, but I kind of want to be more of like a sports physical therapist. So
Yeah, yeah. I was living in Houston, man. You're living, I'm assuming, by yourself, or
yeah, I was living with myself.
how was that?
It was I loved it until the pandemic hit. I mean, I was going out. Houston life,
I've only been
city
in
life
Houston
is fun.
twice, and first time was just very very brief. Second time was just ate out a couple times, but
Yeah,
was only there for the day. So I've never actually experienced like the nightlife or shit, not even downtown, like pretty much anything at all.
it's
So
nothing like San Antonio.
see, that's what a couple people have told me,
Yeah,
and obviously it's a bigger city, I should say, than San Antonio. There's a lot more people. I feel like there's a lot more things to do,
yeah.
but that's crazy, man. I'm glad you liked it.
No,
Were
yeah, it
you
was fun until the pandemic.
were you staying like in a dorm or just like an apartment
It
or
was an apartment, but I
wow,
was kind of far from downtown Houston. I was like maybe like a 40-minute drive.
holy shit?
So I was in Northwest Houston,
So I've seen people on social media post like traffic and stuff like that. Is it pretty bad in San Antonio?
and it's way bad. It's way worse than San
Yeah, way
Antonio.
worse.
Oh yeah,
That's what a lot of people are saying. And then I've seen, I mean, you've been to Austin, right? Too.
yeah.
I've seen people post about Austin traffic too as well. So just traffic in general, man. Shit, you're probably heading out of here. You're probably gonna hit traffic. What time is it? Maybe not so much, but just around like maybe about 4 to about 7.
Yeah.
Um,
No, it
it's
gets pretty bad over here. I've been
yeah.
over here during
Don't
traffic.
move here, bro. Fuck, man. Anything you wanna anything you wanna say? Anything you wanna plug? Anything you wanna
Oh,
talk
just
about before we head out?
go follow me on Instagram, the Maya movement.
The Mile Movement. Follow him. Again, instructional videos. I personally like it. He has, like I said, he has a video on there that talks about deadlifts. So that one's pretty interesting because my shit sucks. But man, we talked about a lot of shit. Just to recap, we talked about um, the whole weight loss journey. We talked about the whole nutrition, ways to cut fat, ways to bulk up, your whole Instagram page. So I appreciate you coming on, man. I
Appreciate
appreciate
you.
you coming on. If you ever want to,
Appreciate it.
bro, if you ever want to come back, talk about literally whatever. Because I feel like
I'm down.
this whole topic, this whole fitness, nutrition thing, maybe a lot of people don't know about it. Maybe a lot of people don't talk about it. But I just would want a lot more people to just to be healthy, man.
Oh
Because
yeah.
ton of effects that comes with being unhealthy, conditions, everything like
Mhm.
that. So again, man, I appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, of course, man. Again, Chris, the Mile Movement, follow him. Do me that huge favor. If you're listening right now onto Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, Amazon Music, whatever streaming platform, head over to the YouTube, check out this video, and I will appreciate you. But nonetheless, until next time, people, peace.